Y'all seen the stairway? That's the stairway that Brandon built before we moved here. Brandon always took ownership at the center where he was at. And I remember we had like a week left before coming to Ohio. He told me and Carson Plant, he said, I'm not leaving here until the stairway's done. I remember pulling my truck up at nighttime after him working 8 hours a day. He would go to the center, he would eat, and then he'd start working on the stairway. And even to the point at nighttime, I would pull my truck down there and he'd use my headlights to see, so he'd still work. I'll never forget when I asked Brandon to come to Ohio with me. He was struggling in that environment and needed a new environment. And I knew that if I left him, I didn't know how things would go. So I asked Brandon, I said, how do you feel about going to Ohio with me? He said, I'd love to. I'll never forget that 8-hour drive. We showed up at the center. It's me, Brandon, and Drew. In the first 60 days, we worked together, furnishing the center. Pretty much daylight to dark. He went to building the lockers that you guys have. He helped pick out the furniture that's at the center. He started, to be honest with you, he done a lot more than what I did. And as the residents started to come into the center, I seen Brandon become a leader. He loved the guys and he wanted the best for them, even though he showed it in a way that a lot of people didn't see it, but he really did. After being here for a little while, I remember one night riding in the truck. We just left the pastor's house, him and his family, for a dinner. And he looked at me and he said, I love it here and I never want to leave. He loved the family dinners and stuff at the pastor's house. And he told me, he says, I feel adopted. He loved the church family. I seen a new Brandon that was the whole purpose of bringing him with me. He felt loved. He felt wanted. Everything that he wanted in life that he couldn't find in Tennessee, he found here in Ohio. He laughed. He was very active with the guys. He loved volleyball, bowling. Everything he did, he had boots on. I'm almost sure he would take a shower with his boots on. Brandon was our first graduate, and I was so happy because the odds against him in Tennessee. I believed in him, and I know he could do it, and he did it. Amen. He loved the church and the pastor and Mama Karen so much. Y'all done so much for him. That he loved them so much that he actually decided to work for them instead of working for the Hope Center. That's how much he loved y'all. But me and Brandon had a fallout and we bumped heads a few times that made our friendship rocky. But even after our fighting at the end of the night, we would always love each other and was there for one another. On my phone, I saved our last conversation. Our last conversation was, I said, Brandon, I'll be back at the apartment, but don't leave. Let's come up with a plan. And all he texted back was said, I love you, buddy. Brandon's accomplishments, establishing our new center. He set the structure of the program. He was our house leader. He became our first graduate. And also here at the church, he did many things. Y'all notice they moved the nursery up front. He helped move the offices in the back. Amen. Brandon took a lot of pride in working at the church. Brandon fulfilled his purpose on the reason why he came to Ohio. Like I said, everything that he didn't have in Tennessee, he found here. Something I want to share. Brandon was an organ donor. His family had contacted and said that he's able to save 4 lives. And one of them being his heart. And I know this, whoever received his heart got a big heart.
Wow.
Amen. And for anybody that wants to help, he doesn't have life insurance, and the family's asking for donations. You can go on my Facebook page and you'll see the app that his family has created. If you want to help with the funeral costs, he has 3 kids and 1 minor. As I end, I want to say that I wish I had seen the red flag sooner so I could have done something. But I guess God needed a new stairway in heaven built.
Wow.
I know being a leader and being at the position that I'm at, some people say that you're not supposed to show weakness, but I don't believe in that. I stand here humbly tonight, asking for help, asking for prayer, dealing with a lot of anger, not towards anybody but with myself. I want to apologize to the guys that I haven't been myself in the last few days. No sleep. Everywhere I look, I see Brandon. The other day I was riding around the truck, having a good old conversation. We were laughing, cutting up, and I looked over and nobody was in the passenger seat. Brandon will always be in my heart. But I love you guys, and I thank everybody that showed up tonight. And just please continue praying for me. I love y'all.
I love you, brother.